Coming up on the Suze Orman Show. If you are one of the millions that are currently jobless in America, what you need to know about accessing money in your retirement accounts. Also ahead, 100% of your income currently is unemployment. How much longer are you qualified to get unemployment for?
I have another 3 months to go.
This then is starting to panic you. And you ask me, can I afford it?
I want to buy a new treadmill.
A treadmill. Are you getting a little pudgy?
Yeah, I'm at that age.
I got it. I know. Trust me. Hi, everybody. I'm Suze Orman, and you are watching the Suze Orman Show. Now, if you happen to be one of the millions out there who are jobless in America, I want you to listen to me right now. Yeah, it's happened, hasn't it? Unemployment is going up and up and up, and many of you are losing your jobs. Many of you actually who have worked for companies for 20, 25, 30 years, you're actually being targeted because the older you are, the higher your salaries usually are, and therefore they're saying bye-bye to you because the younger ones, oh, they don't have to pay as much. They don't have to give as many benefits to. So they are saving money by letting you go. Now, no matter whether you're older or younger and you've lost your job, many of you may have money in a retirement account. Maybe you have money in a 401k plan and you're thinking to yourself, I don't have any money to pay my bills. I'm going to touch that money. I'm going to live off of it. While I do not want you to do that in most cases, there will be some of you, whether you should be doing it or you shouldn't be doing it, that will access the money in your 401k and or IRA simply to live off of. So if that is the case, I want a few of you to understand that there are ways that you can do this and avoid the 10% tax penalty by accessing money in a 401k or an IRA if you are not of age at the time that you do so, if you follow what I say. You all have to remember, no matter how old you are, when you take money out of a 401k or out of a traditional IRA, you will owe ordinary income taxes on it no matter what. But first, let's start with the 401k. Let's say you happen to be one of these people who were laid off, and in the year that you are laid off, you will attain the age of 55 or an older age. If you are 55 years of age or older in the year you left service, does not matter if you were fired, laid off, or you quit. If you are going to attain the age of 55 or older in the year you left service, any money that you have in your 401k plan, you can access without the 10% penalty. Let me give you an example. You're 54 years of age in January of 2009, and you have been laid off. You are not going to turn 55 until December 31st of 2009. It doesn't matter. You will attain the age of 55 in the year that you were laid off or left service. So if you're 55 or older in that year, any money that you want to withdraw from your 401k plan, you can do so without paying the 10% penalty tax. You have to pay ordinary income tax, but not the 10% penalty tax. If you take that money and you roll it over to an IRA rollover, it no longer qualifies for that benefit. So the money that you're going to need to access, if it's in a 401k, leave that amount of money within your 401k and you can roll any amount above that over to an IRA rollover. So now let's just say you have money in an IRA to begin with, and you are not 59 and a half, which is the age that you need to be able to access money in an IRA without the 10% federal tax penalty. How can you get at that money without the 10% penalty? Listen closely, and again, I hope none of you do this, but if you're not gonna listen to me and you're gonna do it anyway, you need to know about this. There is a rule with the IRS called 72T, and this rule allows you to take money out of an IRA under substantially equal periodic payments. As long as you take out substantially equal payments every single year until you are at least 59 and a half years of age, you can avoid the 10% penalty. Now, there are 3 different ways to figure substantially equal periodic payments, and that is beyond the scope of what I'm telling you right now. But if this is something that you want to do, you need to contact a CPA, or an accountant who is skilled and knowledgeable and an expert in substantially equal periodic payments, because they are very, very difficult. Now, I happen to be an expert in that area, and I can tell you I have yet to talk to anybody in the United States that knows as much about it as I do. And when I ask them a question, they never answer me correctly. So if you're advised incorrectly on this and you do not take out the exact amount of money that you need to take out every year, the IRS can come back at you after you've been doing this and assess you the 10% penalty on all of that money that you withdrew. So those are 2 things that you have to remember. 401k, how to access your money without the 10% penalty. IRA, how to access the money without the 10% penalty. But in the long run, I hope you don't access it at all. Let's go to Cindy tonight. She's coming to us from Fresno, California. She's about 52 years of age, and she is one of those who is jobless in America. Girlfriend, tell me what happened.
Well, my company downsized, sent products to India, and decided to hire cheaper labor to do our work. And so after 20 years, they laid a bunch of us off, actually.
And what did that feel like? After 20 years of working for the same company, I'm sure you thought to yourself, I have it made, I've been here 20 years, they're not gonna lay me off, it's gonna be fine. What did it feel like the day that they came into your office, or had you come into their office, however it was, and said to you, Cindy, you no longer have a job? What does that feel like?
I was pretty devastated. I think I was in shock for the first couple of days, because I went out and actually bought flowers that day and planted them all over in my yard. I needed something pretty. And the 3rd day I cried, and then I just hit the streets and looking for work.
And how long ago was that?
8 months ago.
All right, so 8 months ago, you lost your job, and in 8 months, you've been trying to look for another job?
Yes.
And
yes.
Are you looking in your area? Are you looking in any area? Have you, what kind of jobs are you looking for?
I have been all over the place.
Yes.
And I decided to get my real estate license because I was in real estate law before.
Yes.
So, and the market, you know how the market is.
So you decided
it's a struggle.
over this time that you would get a real estate license. I'm sure you spent money to get a real estate license. So
Yes.
right now, as I look at your finances, you have approximately $3,000 left to your name. As I look at your
Correct.
monthly income versus your expenses, you're about $600 a month underwater, meaning you can't make your expenses, and $1,800 of that. 100% of your income currently is unemployment. How much longer are you qualified to get unemployment for?
I have another 3 months to go.
All right, so this then is starting to panic you, because you have 3 months of $1,800 a month to get unemployment. You're currently $600 a month not making your bills. So you are in a very precarious situation. So what is it, my dear Cindy, that you want to know from me?
Well, I would like to be able to access my IRA and make my house payment with it. I'm not accessing it to do other things with it, but just to make my house payment without a penalty, if that is possible.
And how
if there
much,
is a way.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I did open my show tonight that there is a way for you to access it without getting a 10% penalty, but I don't think you're going to be able to access $1,800. How much do you need? $1,100 after taxes, right?
$1,100 a month includes taxes and insurance.
All right, so you're going to have to take, for you to take out $1,100 a month for everything, you have to literally not take out $1,100. You have to take out close to $1,500 or so, because you're going to owe taxes on it. You might even have to owe more than that, take out more than that. So you only currently have $100,000 in your IRA. You have been out of work already for 8 months. It will not take you long until you have absolutely nothing left in your IRA if you start to do that. Are you sure that's what you want to do?
No, I'm not sure.
Because here's
I'd like to go to work.
Right. Here's the problem. You're 52 years of age, and I know that currently you feel miserable, that you don't know how you're going to do it, but I'd like to project out not when you're 52, not when you're 62, but when you're 72, you're 82. I want you to sit there and imagine you are on the Suze Orman Show and you are 72 years of age. And you are in this exact same situation, except you have no money in an IRA, unemployment is not available to you, Social Security is no longer there because of how much we've mismanaged the Social Security funds. It is a total probability that is a reality, and that could happen. You have absolutely nobody who will hire you because you're 72 years of age. Can you tell me what you are going to do at that point in time?
Live with people.
Thank you.
Be homeless.
But at 72, that is a far dire predicament than when you are at 52. If you were to leave simply your $90,000 alone, if you let it earn 4 or 5% for you, you don't have to invest it in the market, I don't care. Just let it earn something good for you. That's about $4,000, $5,000 a year. In the next 20 years, you could have in this close to $200,000, $300,000. You never know what could happen. Now, when you're 72, you have $200,000 or $250,000 that you could do what? Have generate income for you in order for you to get by. At least something is better than nothing. But you want to break into your IRA now just so that you can keep your home, just so that you can keep doing it. You can be a waitress, you can drive a limousine, you can go to work, be a babysitter. I don't care what you have to do, but you have to do something. You can take in roommates in your home. You can do anything and everything, and you have to do it. But what you cannot do is you cannot break in to your IRA. Do you hear me? Because if you break into it, whether you know it or not, you're going to put yourself into a financial jail cell for possibly the rest of your life. Listen, everybody, I understand how rough it is out there, and I understand that it's probably going to get tougher and tougher and tougher. A lot of you are not going to know what to do, and a lot of you, as I said at the top of my program tonight, is you are going to be tempted, just like Cindy was, to break into your IRA and your 401k. If you have no other alternative, you are on the streets, meaning you can't feed yourself, you can't pay rent, you don't know what you're going to do. All right, I gave you the ways that you can do it without the 10% penalty. But do I believe from the bottom of my heart that one day you're going to look back and wish you hadn't done that? Yeah, I really, really do. So everything is off the table here. Take in roommates. Don't be afraid to go get any type of job. It doesn't matter if anybody will hire you, and that even means cleaning houses. I don't care what it is. You have got to be willing to say, I do, that I'm willing to try anything to make a go at this. Again, you use up all your retirement money, your 401k money, then what are you going to do? And again, never forget that if you ever have to claim bankruptcy, money that's in a retirement account is protected against bankruptcy. So please think twice before you take what seemingly is the easy way out, because in the end, it isn't. Coming up next, a change in my advice when it comes to your money and the stock market. Also,
he did mention that, it's not a good time to buy. And
but it was a good time to put it in the stock market. Oh, it was a good time for you to lose a good portion, almost 30% of your inheritance. Oh, it was a good time for that. And later, been wanting something? Ask me, can I afford it?
I would like to buy or enroll in some karate lessons for myself.
So you want to go chop, chop, chop?
I do. I live rent-free. My employer covers all my expenses.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a yeah! Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Shella in New Jersey. You are on the Suze Orman Show.
Good evening, Susie. How are you?
Fabulous, thank you. And how are you?
I'm okay.
Oh, this is a depressing call, it sounds like. Tell me about it.
Yes, I'm panicking of what's still going on Wall Street.
Yes.
I'm single, and a year ago I inherited $400,000, and I decided to invest. I've now lost $130,000, and I keep calling my financial advisor, and he tells me to stay in and be calm. I'm just having a hard time and afraid that I'll lose everything.
All right. You inherit, how old are you?
I'm 34.
34. You inherited $400,000. At the time that you inherited $400,000, did you own a home?
No.
No. Did you want to buy a home?
Would like to, yes.
You would have liked to have. When you went to see the so-called financial advisor, did the financial advisor ask you if you wanted to buy a home? Did you have any credit card debt? Do you need a new car? Do you need to fix anything around you? Did they ask you any of those questions whatsoever?
No, they didn't.
Now, everybody listen to me, and you listen to me now. When you have money and you go to see a financial advisor, if the financial advisor is not asking you questions about your entire financial life, what you need to do with this money, especially if it's an inheritance. There's emotions involved with an inheritance because why? You inherit money when somebody has died. And when somebody has died, you have suffered a loss. And when you've suffered a loss, you are not necessarily in your right frame of mind to make intelligent decisions. So you need an intelligent financial advisor who at least can look at you and ask you the right questions to tell you what you should really be doing with this money. If you had been asked, do you want to buy a home? What would you have said to him or her?
I would have said yes.
Yes, all right. And then if you had come to see me and you had said yes, I would have said, okay, if you want to buy a home, let's put away the amount of money that needs to maybe buy that home outright so that you could be secure and you could be okay and you don't have to worry about it. Did you tell this person that you wanted this money safe and sound, that you didn't want to lose it? Did you say any of that to this person?
Well, I did mention to him that I wanted it to grow, and eventually, I wanted to buy at least a condo. But he did mention that, it's not a good time to buy. And
but
that,
it was a good time. But it was
invest.
a good time to put it in the stock market. Oh, it was a good time for you to lose a good portion, almost 30% of your inheritance. Oh, it was a good time for that. It was also a really great time for him to make money off of you. What did he invest your money in, girlfriend?
He invested in I have a well-diversified mutual fund.
Oh, and did he? Yeah, go on.
And I also have some money in the money market.
All right. So he left some money in the money market. How much did he leave in a money market?
$45,000.
All right. So he happened to invest for you close to $355,000. And of that $355,000, he earned approximately a 4 or 5% commission because he put it into mutual funds for you, correct?
Yes.
And therefore, did he tell you that he would be making close to $15,000 to $20,000 off of you? Did he tell you that?
No. He didn't.
Well, that's number one, because he puts you in mutual funds that have the letter A or B on the end of those mutual funds, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So you have somebody who made a lot of money off of you. On the $300,000 that you invested, you've lost 30 to 40%, if you think about it. And so it's like, oh my God, now what do we do? But here's what I caught that you said. When you call him, he tells you not to worry about it. Has he ever on his own, when this started to go down, did he ever on his own call you?
No, he didn't.
What does that say? What does that say? It says that you have a financial advisor that didn't care about you when you went into his office. You have a financial advisor that still doesn't care about you to this day. And you have a financial advisor, if you ask me, that is not telling you the right thing to do. So therefore, here's what we will do. I will continue to work with you after the show because you inherited money. You deserve to have better than this. And if I were you, you just need to know you are going to be closing down this account with this person so fast, I can't even tell you, because he never had your best interest at heart. He doesn't have your best interest at heart, and shame on him. And let's go to California. We have Joe on the air. What can I do for you?
Hi, Susie. I'm so thrilled to get advice from my guru.
Oh, let's hope that I can meet these expectations. Go for it.
My added girls are that I'm 60 years old. I own my own condo. I have no debt. I do have a 1-year emergency cash and a really good FICO score. Are you sensing a however here?
Yes, I'm like holding my little finger up, my thumb up, going, girlfriend, yes, but who wants something from you?
Nobody.
Yeah, what's wrong then?
During 2008, because I was busy at work and I was helping, I have a 90-year-old mama that I help out too.
Yeah.
I didn't pay close attention to my retirement account.
Yeah.
And my 401k and my traditional IRA declined big time, even though I had them in conservative retirement, fund of fund typed accounts.
Don't you find that fascinating? That even though you thought your money was being conservative in a fund of funds, that it went down considerably. Let's talk specific here with me. What did you have in your, what did you have 1 year ago in your 401k? How much?
401k, I had about 890, and now it's down to 75.
All right, so not so bad. And how about in your IRA?
It's down to about 75 too. I lost about 10 there.
10 there. All right, so I have to tell you, not so bad.
Not compared to a lot of people.
Yeah, trust me, a lot of people are down 40, 50, 60. I even saw a case the other day of 75% that somebody lost. All right, so I'm like going, oh my God. But okay, so now we have about $150,000 left. And your question to me, oh wise financial person, is?
Okay, 2, on the IRA. Would it be a good idea to switch, so I'd have half of my overall retirement eggs in a safe basket. Should I switch that out of mutual funds to a CD ladder?
Here's my question to you. You're 60 years of age. You have everything going on for yourself. When your mama dies, will you be inheriting any money from your mother?
No.
None. All right, number 1. Number 2, do you need to access these retirement accounts to generate income for you to live off of? Or is this money that you do not need to touch for another 10 or 15 years?
I was planning on, along with full Social Security, starting to take this out in dribs and drabs along with that. Yes.
All right. So if that is the case, and this is the money that you need, my rule of thumb has always been money that you need to use within 5 years is not money that belongs in the stock market. So on your $150,000 that you have, if I were you, I would be taking at least, I have to say, 80% of it and making it safe and sound to generate income for you. And I might leave the 20% that's in there, if that 80% is enough to generate income for you to make it by. And I might, given what the markets have done, leave that 20% and hopefully have it in high-yielding, dividend-paying, exchange-traded funds, which you can do within an IRA. So that is what I would be looking at to do if I were you. Now, maybe you are noticing a change in my advice, and here's what you need to understand. When the economy changes, a good financial advisor needs to change what they've always been saying to take into consideration what's going on in the economy. So many of you had your money invested in the stock market, money that you needed, and it should not have been invested in the stock market. And you know me, up until this point, I've always said money that you need within 10 years is not money that belongs in the stock market. However, many of you left your money in the stock market, and now you have lost a considerable portion of your money. Given what's happened in the economy and how much money you have actually lost already in the stock market, it will be very, very difficult for you to make up those losses or possibly even live your life generating just 3 or 4% of a return in a safe investment on that money. Therefore, I am now changing what I've been saying, and I've been changing it to this. Money that you need within 5 years absolutely does not belong in the stock market, never did, never will. However, for those of you who maybe have 10 years, 8 years, if you can, a portion of that money should remain in the stock market, given how low we went, Hopefully, it can be in high-yield, dividend-paying individual stocks that are very cash-rich, where they will not be reducing their dividend. And if you don't have enough money to diversify, then I would like you to look into high-yield, dividend-paying, exchange-traded funds so that you have diversification and you are being paid to wait until these markets totally recover years from now. As long as you are being paid to wait, it's okay. And I want you to think about it. Making 4, 5, or 6% in dividends on a stock that can grow on a small amount of money is far better off than cashing out of those stocks right now, that small amount of money, and putting it where? In a place that maybe you're making 1 or 2% with no possibility of growth. So that is why I have changed my advice to all of you, and I would follow it if I were you. Up next, you can't afford to miss. Can I afford it?
I want to buy a new treadmill.
A treadmill. How come? How come you
Well,
want to spend, what's this, $5,000 for a treadmill? Also, this is your carpet, pink.
Pink, that's my carpet.
Pink.
Pink.
Pink is, have you ever seen me wear pink on the Suze Orman Show?
No, pink is not your color,
It
Susie.
is not my color. I cannot imagine. Here we
A
go.
Maltese puppy. A whole new wardrobe.
Take my family to Disney World.
Snowmobile. A Gucci belt.
Welcome back, everybody. You know, I have been seriously feisty tonight, which means this will be a very interesting Can I Afford It segment. This is where you call in, you ask me what it is that you want to buy, that you think you can afford. And I am going to tell you if you can afford it or not. Are you ready? Let's go. All right. Julie, what do you want to buy?
Susie, I want new carpet. When we bought our house 15 years ago, it had pink carpet in the living room and the dining room, and it still has pink carpet.
Pink?
Pink.
Pink is not a pink. Oh, I am seeing. This is your carpet, pink.
Pink, that's my carpet. Everything we've bought or done in the main part of the public part of the house has had to go with pink carpet.
Pink.
Pink.
Pink is. Have you ever seen me wear pink on the Suze Orman Show?
No, pink is not your color, Susie.
It is not my color. I cannot imagine how you can live in that.
Every time somebody new comes into the house, I feel like I have to apologize and say, I didn't pick this. It came with the house. So I want to replace it with more neutral carpet.
All right, you know what? 15 years, I think, being in pink for 15 years. Should I just approve you on the spot? I can't.
please.
I can't. I have to see your money because this is $3,500. So, girlfriend, if you're going to get out of pink, you better have the green. Show me the money.
I hope so. My son says it's too much to spend just because I don't like the color.
How
but
old is he?
He is 12, and we watch your show every week, and the kids love the Can I Afford It segment.
All right, so tell him I will be the decision maker here, but you know, like I said, show me the green. Go on. All right.
Okay, we bring home about $7,000 a month combined.
Yeah.
We have 1 year left on our mortgage. We have about $16,000 left on the mortgage. We have a home equity loan for $11,000. We have about...
So wait. You're going to have your mortgage paid off in 1 year, but when is this home equity line of credit? You know, you had me there for a second. I went, oh, yes, she's paid off her mortgage, and then you have to say to me you have a home equity line of credit. When's that going to be paid off?
That is going to be paid off in 2 years.
In 2 years. Okay, go on.
Okay, we have about $6,000 in liquid savings.
Yeah.
We have some other investments, and then about $460,000 in retirement.
And what is that other in investments? Because right now, $6,000, I'm siding with your son here. You don't have enough emergency funds. What else do you have in investments?
We have about $45,000 in a variety of things. We have an S&P 500 index
And things
fund.
like that. Okay, and how are you going to pay for this?
We want to take about half of it out of savings and half of it out of investments.
All right, so here's the scoop. You don't really have enough to take it out of savings because you barely have enough savings, but you do have at least 6 months, according to my calculation, and your house is going to be owned in 1 year. You have enough to cash out of some of these investments that are good for you. However, should you be doing it? Should you not be doing it? Should I side with you? Should I side with your son? What should I do? Here's what I think. You have been approved because you can afford it, because I hate pink. Okay, Paul, what do you want to buy?
I would like to buy or enroll in some karate lessons for myself.
So you want to go chop, chop, chop.
I do.
You want to cut him to the quick.
I do. I used to study. I studied for 10 years, and a couple years ago I got hurt and been out of it for a while. Want to get back into it and get my black belt.
So you want to spend $1,300 so that you can be in the black.
I do, and actually they've waived the enrollment fee for me, and I've got it down to $1,080.
All right, that makes a big difference. All right, let me write here. $1,080 is what you want to spend to go chop somebody up. Okay, show me the money, my dear Paul.
All right, I have taken $3,200 a month combined income with my wife.
All right, yeah, go on.
I live rent-free. My employer covers all my expenses.
Well, that's a good one. That's a yeah. Go on.
I have $10,000 in student loans at 3.5%.
That's all kind of yeah.
And I have $15,000 in savings currently.
You do, though, have $15,000 in savings. And how are you going to pay for this?
Probably straight out of my savings.
Well, it seems to me you really don't spend a whole lot of money. It seems to me you therefore have at least a 6-month emergency fund. You don't have any credit card debt. You haven't been a financial wreck that way. So guess what? You have been approved. Yeah. Okay. Julie, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. It's good to
Hi.
talk to you.
Thank you, Jules. What do you need?
Okay. My girls, my 2 children, want to go to overnight camp for 4 weeks this summer, and it's $6,000.
I can already tell how you're saying that this is a stretch for you and that the reason you want your girls to go to camp this summer coming up is because you really need a break. But is $6,000 worth a break? Show me the money.
Okay. My husband and I bring home $76.50 in take-home pay. We're
Yep.
self-employed, so that fluctuates.
Yeah.
We have $414,000 in mortgages at 4 3/4 and 5.9 in interest, and one of those is a rental.
Yes. So you get income from it so that it covers it, so you're doing okay there.
Exactly.
Okay, go on.
We have $33,500 in savings.
Yeah. How are you going to pay for this, by the way?
Well, I was going to do part of it out of savings and then part of it out of our income. Like I said, we're self-employed, so we can cut back on other things.
Yeah, and things like that. So let me just make this easy for you. You are denied. And the reason that you are denied is this. You do not have enough money in emergency money in order to carry everything that you have. And I know you have a rental, and if something happens to your tenant and they don't pay you rent, you can't pay your mortgage. So it's very simple. You're going to have to be home with your girls this summer. Okay, Karen, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. I want to buy a Navajo sterling and turquoise necklace.
And have you wanted this for a while?
I have. I've been eyeing it for months.
You know, Karen, I have to tell you, I went through a phase of my life, honest to God, let's just chat here for a little. I went through a phase of my life where I wanted turquoise. I would go to New Mexico. I would walk in Santa Fe on the square there, and I would see this, this turquoise, and I would want this, I would want that, I would want this. And today, I probably wouldn't wear turquoise if I was paid to do so. Now, that's just my personal preference, but then, as you notice, I never change my jewelry. So you want to spend $385 on a necklace that you've been eyeing. Seems like a simple thing. Show me the money.
Okay, I make $3,770 a month take home.
Yeah, what industry do you work in?
I work in publishing.
Publishing? Oh, publishing. I can tell you a thing or two about publishing. You're laying off everybody right and left. So are you sure your job is 100% safe, sound, and secure?
I would like to think so.
Yeah, we all like to think that. Okay, go on.
Okay, I pay $600 a month in rent.
Yeah.
I have $19,000 in savings.
Yeah.
And I have $38,000 in retirement.
All right, so the truth of the matter is, doing the calculations very quickly here, no credit card debt or anything, right?
No, right.
But you're at the point where you are in an industry where it is very probable you may lose your job. And even though, you want this, even though I don't really like turquoise, who am I to tell you what you should be wearing? Can you afford it? You have been approved. All right, Terry, what do you want to buy?
Hey, Susie, I love your show.
Thank you, Terry.
I want to buy a new treadmill.
A treadmill. How come? How come
Well,
you want to spend, what's this, $5,000 for a treadmill? There are treadmills out there for $700. Why do you need a $5,000 treadmill?
I've had the $700 one. I had, actually, it was $800. It lasted 2 years, and then the computer went out.
I got in how many days for those 2 years? Of those 700 some odd days, how many days did you use it?
I was pretty faithful. I use it 3 or 4 days a week.
All right, so I like that. Okay, so you want this treadmill Because you want it, are you getting a little pudgy?
Yeah, I'm at that age.
I got it. I know. Trust me. Listen, this is just between you and me. All the time I'm sitting here behind the desk, and then in my ear somebody says, sit up. And the reason they're telling me to sit up is I have this little pouchy here too, and if I've had too much to eat, it kind of shows, and then it's like, so I get it. Boyfriend, let's see. Show me the money.
Okay, I've got $3,000 a month in take-home pay.
Good.
My rent, I split it with my roommate, so my share is only $350 a month.
Fabulous.
And I have a $12,000 car loan at 4.9%.
Yeah.
And I have $2,000 in savings.
How are you going to pay for this?
Well, I've got a deal on a low-interest credit card, and I think I could pay it off like in 12 months.
And let me ask you something. You live in an apartment. You said you have a roommate. Do you have an apartment?
Yes.
Yeah, and where is that apartment in the building?
On the top floor.
On the top floor. So how many flights is it up to the top floor?
It's 9.
9 flights. So here's the thing. You are denied. And not only are you denied because you only have $2,000 in savings and you're not going to go into debt in this type of an economy in order to buy this, all you have to do is, I'll tell you what, walk up the stairs and down every day and to and from your apartment, and you will lose the weight. Trust me on that one. Do you want to be part of the Can I Afford It segment? And I hope you do. Please go to my website, SuzeOrman.com, and you will find the information you need to know there to play with me right here. You had a hole in your financial boat when you bought this boat, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
But yet you just said to me that no, everything was good. Everything wasn't good. You couldn't afford it then. No, it wasn't good. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Dodie. What kind of name is Dodie?
It's a nickname for Dolores.
Dolores. Okay, Dodie. All right, Dodie, what can I do for you?
My husband and I are making payments on a boat, but since we located about 6 months ago and we bought a new home, we're finding it harder and harder to make our ends meet. We bought the boat in 2005 for about $26,000, and that was brand new. And we still, 3 years later, owe $24,000.
What interest rate were you paying?
Oh gosh, I don't remember right offhand.
How come you didn't call in to my Can I Afford It segment so I could have said to you, denied? But it's, I just have to ask this.
Yes, ma'am.
That when you bought the boat, was it a struggle at the time?
No, actually it wasn't, because we had lived in our home and we had, life was good, the economy was good. And no, we didn't foresee us moving, and my husband's job had changed and they had moved us back to Florida.
I see. And did you at the time have an 8-month emergency fund? Were you totally out of credit card debt?
No.
So you bought this boat when you were in credit card debt?
Yes.
And you thought life was good because you had enough money simply to pay your payments every month, even though you were financially sinking because you were in credit card debt. You had a hole in your financial boat when you bought this boat, didn't you?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But yet you just said to me that no, everything was good. Everything wasn't good. You couldn't afford it then. No, it wasn't good. You had credit card debt then. Nothing is good when you have credit card debt. But that's not why you're calling in. All right, ask me your question.
My question is, we have tried to find someone just to take over our payments for us. And we haven't been late on any of the payments. We've made all of our payments, and all of our payments are being made. But like I said earlier, we are beginning to feel a struggle now since we've moved. How can we, let's say if we want to give our boat back to the finance company, will that hurt our credit report and credit ratings?
It will hurt your FICO score. It will be reported on your credit report. You actually may still, even if you give it back to them, you may still legally owe that money to them because you had a contract with them. So therefore, you should go to them, you should talk with them, you should see if you can work out a deal with them. If there's anything that you can do to reduce what you owe them, reduce the payment, and you need to just face it. So go to them and see what kind of deal you can strike. But here's what I am really asking you to do. Never, ever, ever again think that everything is fine when you have credit card debt, because it's simply not. Up next, email. You know, I'm not one who wants to come on the show and go, I told you so, but I told you so. Welcome back, everybody. You know what happens right now. This is where Lou kind of walks across the stage.
Yeah, just sort of wander in.
Just wondering
like
if this was AC 360, we would be playing some chintzy music in the background, and we would be asking people, what do you think about the chintzy music?
Maybe I'd have something to touch
right.
that would move around.
I love Anderson Cooper.
Yeah?
But I do. I must say, I love when they play that chintzy music, and, Erica goes, chintzy music. Anyway, all right.
Here we go, from Clarence, 48, in Hazel Crest, Illinois. I am in the process of getting pre-approved for a home loan when all of a sudden one of my credit cards was canceled for no reason. Susie, I was never late. I always paid before payment was due. My limit was $3,000 and it was reduced to $993. My balance is $915. Susie, what do I do?
Oh, I am so sorry to say there's not a lot you can do. Have I not been telling all of you? I'm not one who wants to come on the show and go, I told you so. But I told you so. I told you that these things were going to start to happen, where for no reason at all, the credit card companies are going to come and they're going to reduce your credit limits. They're going to lower it all the way down and give you a few extra dollars above what you currently owe. They may revoke your credit cards altogether and raise your interest rates to 32%, and it's going to continue to happen and happen and happen more and more and more. So for you, if this has happened to you, what can you do? Remember, 30% of your FICO score is made up of your debt, what you owe, to your credit limit ratio, the credit limit that all these credit card companies have given you. When they reduce your credit limit, it actually increases your debt to credit limit ratio, which decreases your FICO score. So if you have any money available to you, if you, in this particular case, could pay down $2,000 of debt that maybe you owe on other credit cards, because I'm sure if you have one credit card, you have two. I'm sure if you have two, you have three. I'm sure if you have three, you have four, and the story goes on. If you can reduce your credit that you owe by $2,000, you pay it off. So if you can reduce your debt, rather, that you owe by $2,000, guess what? You're now in the exact same place as you were when you had $2,000 more of a credit limit on this card that they reduced. Did that make sense to you?
Sure.
It didn't, did it?
No, not really.
Did you really not understand what I just said?
I don't understand how this could have happened seemingly out of the blue.
Oh, because here's what's happening. I just have to explain this one more time. You may have a very good FICO score. You may be on time every single month with your payment. In fact, you may even be early like this gentleman was. However, here's the problem. If you are charging on your credit cards and you are only paying the minimum due every single month, that is a red flag to the credit card companies, because they're saying, oh, they're charging, but they're only paying the minimum. That's not a good sign, because no intelligent person would only pay the minimum because of all the interest rate that we're charging them. That's a person who's in financial trouble, and that's therefore why they are closing you down.
Wow.
So it's not if you're on time. It's if you're on time and or how much are you paying every month on those cards.
Wow.
Now, did that make sense?
Oh, that made sense.
Here's what makes even more sense. We are wrapping right now.
Alrighty.
All right, you ready, everybody? I get it. There's a lot of things that make sense when it comes to money, and there's a lot of things that don't make sense when it comes to money. But it doesn't matter. All that you need to know is you have got to make the right financial moves for you, especially in a time like we're in right now. So until next week, there's only one thing that I want you to remember when it comes to your money, and it is this: people first, then money, then things. Now you stay safe.